Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
We're live in Asheville at what looks like it will be a packed rally for former President Donald Trump. We're speaking with people about why they came here and how far they traveled.
And we now have our third hurricane of the season. Ernesto, now a Category 1 hurricane just to the north and west of Puerto Rico. I'll show you when it could have some indirect impacts on North Carolina coming up.
He's extremely cagey. He's extremely dangerous, and he has nothing to lose.
State investigators hope a $35,000 reward leads them to an escaped murderer who's been on the run for more than 24 hours. A lot to tell you about here during this noon hour. Thanks for joining us. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. And this morning, the sheriff in Orange County announced an increased reward for the capture of this man, Ramon Alston. He also said he has known Alston since he was a child. Now, we have WRAL's Sean Gallagher live in Orange County right now with more on that unique relationship between Sheriff Blackwood and the Alston family. Sean.
Yeah, Jeff and Renee, Sheriff Charles Blackwood held a press conference just a couple of hours ago, only lasting about 10 minutes. But after the last question he was asked, he took a pause and shared some personal information that he grew up with Ramon Alston's father and has known Ramon since he was born. Now, this is day 2 of the search for Alston. Search crews will continue looking north in Hillsborough. And law enforcement says yesterday they searched nearly 700 acres around the hospital where Alston escaped custody. Police dogs did find tracks north of the hospital, but that eventually went cold with no more evidence Alston was ever there. Sheriff Blackwood said there's reason to believe Alston may have changed his appearance and cut off his dreadlocks. So take a good look at his face in the photos that you're seeing. And while we know Alston was convicted for murdering a 1-year-old child in 2015, we haven't heard from anyone who knew him personally. That is until Sheriff Blackwood shared this today. Take a listen.
I went to high school with his father. I went to all school with his father, first through. And I've known Ramon since he was born. He was a troubled child, and he's been involved in criminal activity since he was a juvenile. He's extremely cagey. He's extremely dangerous, and he has nothing to lose.
So much like yesterday, crews will continue searching north of UNC Hospital here in Hillsborough. But it's important to note, Sheriff Blackwood said there were at least 2 tips that came in saying Alston was seen in Durham. Now, back out here live, we are on Durham Technical College's campus here in Orange County. We've seen a number of different vehicles from other law enforcement agencies around the area as they all continue this search process here headquartered in Hillsborough. But important to note from Sheriff Blackwood there, he said if you do have a surveillance camera, you may want to take a look. People get a lot of notifications through there. Go back through and see if anything happened, and if so, contact the sheriff's office here in Orange County. Sean Gallagher, WRAL News, Hillsborough.
We're following breaking news in Raleigh out of the Hedingham neighborhood where 3 homes were hit by bullets early this morning. WRAL's Brett Neese is live there for us right now. And Brett, at one point, more than 90 evidence markers were on the ground.
That's right, Renee, and most of these bullet holes are in the back of this home here behind me. Just take a look. It is unbelievable to see this amount of damage done by these bullets here on the back side of this home. So many of those white pieces of tape, those are marking different bullet holes. You can see the shattered glass to that back door there. It's one of these scenes that just kind of takes you back. It gives you pause when you see something like this. It's unbelievable. We talked to neighbors who say they heard the gunfire happen around 3:45 in the morning. It lasted a very long time. We do have some video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker to show you more of this scene. And the crime scene tape right now just surrounds this one home, but police tell us 2 other homes were hit by bullets as well. We also talked to a neighbor that lives across the street who tells me that it's just a scary sight to see whenever he walked outside this morning. Take a listen.
I feel like it's almost one thing when what happened 2 years ago happened because it's so far away. But when you wake up and see from your driveway that there's cops and crime tape on the house next to you, that's something completely different.
And of course, that's Jake Preston referencing the mass shooting that happened here in this neighborhood. All these neighbors tell me that that is top of mind when any shooting happens. But then when you have a shooting like this with 90 different evidence markers, dozens of bullets, nearly 100 bullets into one home, it's just remarkable to look at. And we're going to talk to more neighbors here this afternoon about this incident. Police tell us, though, that they do not have any arrests at this point. And fortunately, somehow, some way, with all these bullet holes, nobody was hurt. Live in Raleigh, Brett Neese, WRAL News.
Police are investigating a shooting in a Nightdale neighborhood. The WRAL Breaking News Tracker drove to the scene on Clay Hill Drive. Police responded just after 9 last night. We've learned one man was shot. The victim was treated at the hospital. He is expected to survive. The investigation is ongoing.
In less than an hour, the doors will open at the Harris Cherokee Center in Asheville. That's where former President Donald Trump will give remarks on the economy today. WRAL's Monica Casey is live with a sea of supporters eager to hear his message. Monica.
Yeah, Jeff, this rally will be happening inside the Thomas Wolfe Auditorium. And take a look behind me at this line that wraps all the way around the block. This is in the heart of downtown Asheville. I've been speaking with supporters here who traveled from surrounding counties to come to this rally. Many of them tell me they believe the economy was in a better place 4 years ago. That and immigration are the top reasons. I've heard people here saying they are supporting former President Trump. I spoke with RNC Strategic Communications Director Tommy Pigott about Trump's plan for the economy.
It's that President Trump has the agenda to make America wealthy again. He's done it before, and he'll do it again when he gets elected back to the White House. He has a policy of no taxes on tips, policies that help the working men and women of this country, bringing manufacturing back to this country.
I spoke with a couple of people here today who tried to go to the recent Charlotte rally but couldn't get in because it was at capacity. Some people here actually camped out overnight to try to get into this rally here today. Now, in a statement, North Carolina's Democratic Governor Roy Cooper says people here are getting played, and he says Trump's plan only benefits billionaires. Live in Asheville, Monica Casey, WRAL News.
And Vice President Kamala Harris will host a campaign event in Raleigh this Friday. She's expected to talk about her economic policy plan. This would make it her first major policy rollout since joining the 2024 presidential race. We will have full team coverage of her event as well.
Ernesto is now a hurricane. Even though it won't make landfall in North Carolina, it's projected to get close enough to bring impacts to our coast. Meteorologist Amy Wilmoth is here now to show us what you can expect if you're headed to the beach this weekend. Amy.
Renee, we're likely to see rough surf and dangerous rip currents this weekend. So if you're headed to the coast, you're most likely going to see those red flags flying, and just don't get in the water if you see them. And I think you're going to over the weekend. Ernesto, officially a hurricane as of the 11 a.m. advisory. It has winds at 75 miles per hour. I was just reading about the impacts in Puerto Rico, and over 500,000 people are without power. Extreme flooding there. Now the system is to the north and west of Puerto Rico. It's moving into some warm waters, and it could become our second major hurricane of the season. It could be a Category 3 hurricane by 8 a.m. Friday. And then I paused it here. This is 8 a.m. Saturday. It's kind of hard to see, but right there is where Bermuda is, and it's going to likely go just to the west. So they're going to have some pretty big impacts there, and then it will keep going to the north and eventually curve back out to sea as a Category 1 hurricane by Monday morning. Now, impacts for the North Carolina coast. We aren't going to have direct impacts. It's the indirect impacts, and we see this very often during hurricane season. We have systems that are out to sea, but we still get the impacts even along our coast in the form of very dangerous rip currents and rough surf. It's going to be just under about 500 miles from the North Carolina coast. That's definitely close enough to make it dangerous to get in the water. So just something to keep in mind if you're headed to the beaches this weekend. Beautiful weather here at home, which is nice, but we have some rain on the way for the weekend as well. I'll have more on that coming up.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, St. Augustine's University's 2024 fall semester will be starting later than hoped for. You can see on their website here, September 3rd, first day of in-person classes. It was originally supposed to start August 19th. That has been pushed back to September 3rd. Last month, the university announced that it was able to keep its accreditation. Interim President Marcus Burgess previously told WRAL the university expecting a much smaller student body this school year. He says anywhere from 200 to 300 students.
Michelle, thanks. Inflation is at its coolest in 3 years. Prices rose less than 3%. That's the smallest increase in prices since 2021. Here to explain what that means for your wallet is 5 on your side's Keely Arthur. Hi, Keely.
Hi, Renee. To put this in easy to understand terms, this means the average cost of a good compared to last year is 2.9% more. If you want to compare month to month instead, it's up 0.2%. This data out today looks at July. So June compared to July of this year, prices rose 0.2%. This is good news. This is what we want to see. Inflation isn't at that white hot pace anymore. But keep in mind, this isn't deflation either. Other than used cars and trucks, we're not seeing anything get cheaper. But the increase in cost is less and less and less. And this is why we will likely see the Fed drop interest rates next month. Lower interest rates are great for homeowners, anyone with a credit card, really anyone with a loan.
It's beneficial if you're a borrower and you maybe you want to thinking of refinancing your home. If there's a rate cut, then you'll get better rates and that will benefit you. Or if you need to get a new car and you need to borrow money for that, you'll probably get a better rate in the future if they cut rates. Where it hurts is whenever they cut rates, that means they printed money. And if they print money, that means that in the long run, you will see more inflation.
Back to the CPI report. Let's look at some of the specific changes month to month. The cost of food went up 0.2% in July. Energy costs were unchanged and housing was up 0.4%. So if you feel like things are costing more, it's because on the whole they are, but we are getting on the right track. What is concerning economists now more is an unemployment rate that is up from last month. And increasing unemployment rates are a concerning indicator that the economy is not holding strong in at least some areas.
All right, Keely, thank you. And investors are liking the latest inflation data there. As you can see, the Dow Jones Industrial Average rallying up 250 points. S&P 500 on its fifth straight day of gains, advancing 25 points. And NASDAQ also in the green, advancing 42 points, with it looking more and more likely that the Fed will cut interest rates in September.
Next at noon, 4 people were shot overnight at Virginia State University. All are expected to recover. None of them are students at the school. The leads police have in this case.
Also, a New Zealand food bank accidentally distributed drug-laced candy, the lethal drug found inside, and the search for the person who made that donation.
Plus, the search for the cause of a Durham grocery store fire. At 12:30, we hear from one of the store's owners who lost everything.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.
Four people who were found shot on the Virginia State University campus are expected to survive. Officers found the victims around 12:30 this morning near the gymnasium. None of the victims go to school at VSU. Officials say they have identified suspects and that charges are pending. The fall semester is scheduled to start Monday.
Convicted murderer Alec Murdaugh could get a new trial. The South Carolina Supreme Court has agreed to consider his jury tampering appeal. Murdaugh's attorneys filed the appeal in July after the Court of Appeals rejected his request. Lawyers accused the clerk of courts there of telling jurors, quote, not to be fooled by him. It was in an effort to secure his conviction. Murdaugh was convicted of gunning down his wife Maggie and their son Paul at their hunting estate in June 2021. Workers at a New Zealand food bank are reaching out to about 400 people who may have accidentally received drug-laced candy.
To say that we are devastated is an absolute understatement.
The Auckland City Mission says a recipient notified them the candy tasted funny. The sweets were tested by the New Zealand Drug Foundation, which confirmed they contained potentially lethal levels of meth. At least 3 people were sent to the hospital but are now back at home. The mission says the candies were donated by a member of the public, and police are searching for that donor.
An Amazon delivery man caught on surveillance video is charged with attempted robbery. Police in Minnesota say the man tried to rob a liquor store at closing. Uba Ali reports he was beaten back by a real-life Batgirl.
Anything else for you today? No.
It's back to business after a big scare at Big Discount Liquor Store in Maplewood.
I'm never going to forget.
Leo says he was preparing to close the store around 9:30 Saturday night when this man walked in and wandered through the store. Surveillance video shows him wearing an Amazon uniform, reaching in his pocket before setting a realistic BB gun on the counter.
Put the gun on the table. He asked me to give him all the money and everything I got in the register. And I told him, yes, I give you everything.
But behind the counter, beside Leo, his 8-year-old daughter.
I tried to talk to him and say, you know what? I got my daughter here. Can you just please put the gun down, move it away from her? I will give you everything. Take everything. It's money. I don't care. You know, I just care about the safety for her.
But when he started walking behind the counter,
I'm a dad. I'm not going to be let that happen.
Leo punches the man, wrestling him to the floor. Seconds later,
I'm coming to the rescue.
You see his brave little girl.
So I'm so proud of her. So she's so strong.
Grab a baseball bat.
This is the bat. She was holding it.
Hitting the suspect before running away.
That day I would say I just want to cry when I see the video because I was like, I don't expect she do that. I expect like a little girl crying or screaming.
An incredible act of heroism.
And she said she wanted to defend me.
From a little girl who saw her dad needed help.
That's so moving. Oh my goodness. And yeah, she was fighting for her dad. That was Uba Ali reporting. So neither the child nor her father was seriously hurt. The man is charged with first-degree attempted aggravated robbery. His criminal history includes a 2004 conviction for first-degree aggravated robbery. What a brave, brave girl.
What a happy ending, certainly after all that they went through. Doesn't always happen that way, certainly. Well, we're right in the middle of probably the two nicest days that we can get that we've seen in a while. Amy Wilmington and WRAL Severe Weather Center. Those blue skies are a welcome sight.
We'll take it in the month of August. This is great weather. Beautiful blue sky over downtown Raleigh. This is a live look from one of our live camera network cameras, and it's just gorgeous over downtown. Just a few clouds around. Temperatures are comfortable. We're in the 80s right now. 83 in Fayetteville. It's 83 in Lewisburg, 83 in Irwin, and 82 in Rocky Mount. So it feels pretty nice outside, especially when you look at these numbers. The dew points are down into the low to mid 60s, and over the last several days, we've had dew points in the 70s. It's very, very sticky, but that's not the case today. We're seeing a nice drop, and that will be with us through the afternoon. So if you have some outdoor things to do, maybe some yard work, dew points will stay fairly low, especially for August. This is a little unusual and certainly a nice little treat. If you're outside, out and about, snap a photo of something pretty, send it to us. You can go to WRAL.com, search Weather Watchers, and we like to show your pictures on TV. That's a pretty picture of those flowers there. It's a good day to maybe do some grilling outside, have dinner outside on the patio perhaps, or head to one of the many outdoor restaurants. Temperatures will be comfortable at 7 p.m. around 80 degrees with mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies. Rain chances, nothing in the forecast for today and tomorrow, and really Friday should stay dry. It's just a 20% chance, but over the weekend we have a 40% chance for some showers and storms. That's going to continue into early next week. So expect some scattered showers and storms, but don't cancel any outdoor plans. It's not a washout at all, but we will have some activity, especially the second half of the day on both Saturday and Sunday. It's all coming with this cold front that will be well to the west of us by Saturday morning. This is 8 a.m. Saturday. We're still dry, but the rain approaching the North Carolina mountains at that point. And then once we get to the evening, we'll have some scattered showers, maybe an isolated storm. And look at this. This is Hurricane Ernesto getting pretty close to North Carolina. We'll have some indirect impacts as that system gets kind of close to us, about 500 miles or so away from us, but it is not going to make landfall. There's really no models that are indicating that it would make landfall here in North Carolina. Bermuda, they're going to have some pretty big impacts, but it is a hurricane now, so it's the third hurricane so far this season. It's a Category 1 right now with winds at 75 miles per hour. It's expected to maybe become a Category 3 hurricane and then back down to a Category 2 hurricane once it makes landfall in Bermuda. And this is a look at the model plots. They're taking it to Bermuda and then out to sea, but it gets close enough to North Carolina that we'll have some dangerous rip currents along the North Carolina coast this weekend. We'll probably have some rough surf as well. So it is key. If you see those red flags flying this weekend at the beaches, don't get in the water. It's just too dangerous. Enjoy the weather today, though. Beautiful outside. Overnight tonight, 65 for the low temperature. That'll feel good. 87 tomorrow. It's dry. And then we get down to 66 Thursday night into Friday morning. Upper 80s Friday. And then we're back to some storm chances this weekend. That continues into Monday and Tuesday as well.
Amy, thanks. The Carolina Panthers will take on the New York Jets this weekend in a preseason matchup. Today on WRAL News at 4, the expectations for the team as they prepare for a big game.
And at 5, the newest consumer price index is out. How it could change the thinking of the Federal Reserve. Plus, still ahead this noon, getting through airport security can be a hassle. We know that, but it's necessary. Some airports, though, are doing a better job than others. The airport in North Carolina that ranks in the top 5.
The Secret Service says it is ready for next week's Democratic National Convention in Chicago. How local police plan to make sure the rest of the city is safe.
The United Auto Workers Union has filed federal labor charges against former President Donald Trump and Elon Musk for trying to threaten and intimidate workers. The action comes a day after Trump and Musk talked about workers walking off the job on Musk's social media platform X. The complaint accused them of making statements suggesting they would fire employees engaged in protected concerted activity, including striking. Under the National Labor Relations Act, workers can't be fired for that kind of job action. The UAW has endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris in her bid for president. The Justice Department is reportedly considering a potential breakup of Google after a judge ruled the company's search business is a monopoly and violates antitrust laws. Bloomberg reports Google's Android operating system and Chrome browser would be the most likely to be separated. The government could also try to ban the exclusive contracts Google spent billions of dollars on to be the default search engine on the iPhone and other devices.
A United Airlines pilot is suing his employer for not accommodating his diet restrictions. Captain Mark McKenzie has celiac disease and needs gluten-free food. The federal lawsuit claims United not only denied Captain McKenzie's requests for safe food, but also made him pay for meals even though he can't eat them. McKenzie wants United to supply food that suits his needs, as well as pay damages and reasonable attorney's fees and costs. A travel company is shedding light on the airports with the most and least TSA complaints. The company analyzed data from 2015 to 2023 at 44 large U.S. airports. Complaints included everything from customer service, mishandled bags, to TSA pre-check. Newark Liberty topped the list with the most complaints, followed by Palm Beach, Orlando, Southwest Florida, and Cleveland Hopkins International Airport. Airports with the least complaints overall included Charlotte Douglas, Hartsfield Jackson in Atlanta, and Chicago Midway International Airport.
Fire investigators in Durham are searching for the cause of a fire that destroyed a grocery store. After the break, we hear from a co-owner who shares what he thinks happened.
And here's a live look from Asheville, where former President Donald Trump will be addressing the crowd. How his supporters are showing up in large numbers. First, here's a look at the winning lottery numbers.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
Firefighters are looking into the cause of a fire that destroyed a grocery store in Durham. The fire briefly impacted traffic on North Alston between Holloway Street and Taylor Street. The road has since reopened, but as Kelsey Coffey spoke with a co-owner who lost everything.
Fire officials have been investigating here at the Easy Mini Mart in Durham for more than 5 hours. Take a look at this damage. Debris is scattered all over this parking lot. Crews arrived at the fire on North Alston Avenue around 6 o'clock this morning. You could see smoke coming out of the collapsed roof. Durham police say nearly 50 firefighters responded to this call. They were able to control the flames within 15 minutes and no one was injured. Fire officials opened the hood of this white Mercedes that was burned in the parking lot. We spoke with co-owner Mohammed Abdullah. He says someone broke into the building and burned the store down.
Everything we built is gone. It was open to the public, like whoever wanted to come, they could come and just feel welcomed and like a family.
I reached out to Durham Fire to see if they could confirm the cause. They say they're not able to comment as this is still under investigation. SBI is investigating here now along with fire officials. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Durham.
Covering Johnston County, one person is dead after a crash on I-95 near Smithfield. Troopers say the driver lost control of the van, ran off the road and into a cornfield. We're waiting to learn the name of the driver.
Take you back to this live look here from Asheville, where former President Donald Trump is set to address supporters today at 4 o'clock. There are thousands of people lined up around the block outside the Harris Cherokee Center in Asheville, waiting to hear the former president speak. We're expecting to hear about Trump's plan for the economy. It's a big focus of his supporters who are there today. The doors open at 1 o'clock. We'll have a crew inside. You can look for live reports beginning at 4. Police in Chicago are gearing up for a busy week. The Democratic National Convention is just days away, bringing in high-profile visitors and thousands of protesters. Connor Hansen explains how police and federal agents plan to keep everyone safe.
The area around Chicago's United Center is being cleaned up and decorated for next week's Democratic National Convention. While the city preps for thousands of attendees, police are focused on security and handling large protests expected throughout the week. The Chicago Police Department says officers have been training with state and federal counterparts for over a year.
We will ensure as a police department that people who are protesting and exercising their First Amendment rights get the opportunity to do that. We will protect them and we will protect the neighborhoods.
While officials have spent a long time planning, so have the protest groups. Some expect tens of thousands to demonstrate during the convention, many who are upset over the handling of the war in Gaza.
We will not guarantee someone that we're not going to make arrests if they start to act violently or commit crimes.
Secret Service has been under heavy scrutiny since the assassination attempt of former President Donald Trump in Pennsylvania. The agency says this event, like last month's RNC, will have their highest level of security.
But as far as comparing Butler to a national special security event, you can't compare it. This is a whole of government approach. We've been planning for this convention for well over a year, so we can't compare the two.
It was Connor Hansen reporting. Hundreds of police officers will travel to Chicago from surrounding states to offer assistance. Chicago police stressed their efforts to secure the United Center will not pull resources away from other neighborhoods.
The Republican candidate for state school superintendent denied accusations she called for a military coup on January 6th. WRAL's Laura Leslie talked with Michelle Morrow and her opponent, Mo Green. Morrow went to the January 6th protests with her children. She says she did not take part in the riot. Later that night, she posted a video on social media calling on then-President Trump to use the Insurrection Act to activate the military and put the Constitution to the side in order to stay in power.
I thought that it was time for us as we the people to stand up and say, you guys work for us, because I believe everybody that's an elected official works for the people of the United States of America, and government doesn't give us our freedoms.
Now we're going to talk about putting aside the Constitution. And we're going to install the military, and we're going to arrest many for treason. Absolutely, deeply concerning and incredibly dangerous.
You can get both interviews in full on WRAL.com.
School resource officers, principals, and teachers are coming together to brainstorm ways to make schools safer. Wake County Public Schools held the event at Millbrook High School this morning. Everyone at the session joined in on training that made them react to various unexpected dangers. The goal is to present something new for the group to work through.
We're continually learning different ways of doing things, whether it's from the national perspective of threats that are evolving throughout the country that we may see here soon that we haven't seen yet, to get ahead of that curve.
The sessions also talked about mentorship and how to relate to students.
Are smartphones helping or hindering student learning? The findings of a new study asking teachers whether the devices belong in the classroom.
And a spectacle in the sky that'll take your breath away. Where in the U.S. people just experienced the glow of the northern lights. Remember, you can watch WRAL News live anytime on WRAL.com or the WRAL app on your streaming device.
There's been a lot of discussion lately about cell phone use in classrooms. A new study found that 72% of high school and 33% of middle school teachers believe cell phone distractions are a major problem. But combating usage in schools can be difficult. Several states are trying to better manage smartphone devices while creating more conducive environments for learning. But while phones could be on their way out, another form of technology could be infiltrating more districts. Some experts say artificial intelligence can help students increase learning.
If you have a hidden disability and you don't want to be open about the fact that you're suffering from dyslexia or something else, you can use an AI reading assistant to actually help you read. So you can actually record a lecture and use the AI to automatically transcribe what's going on with it too.
Opinions remain mixed over cell phone-free school zones. Some parents and students cite safety concerns in cases of emergency.
College students starting at UNC Chapel Hill this fall are moving in today. Move-in will continue through Sunday ahead of the first day of classes on Monday. Students at NC State will start moving in tomorrow, and Duke's move-in day is Saturday. North Carolina Central University is preparing to welcome its largest class in 15 years. The university says almost 2,000 students are starting this year. Nearly 300 are transfer students. 18 graduate students will be sporting Eagle Pride. 1,500 of the incoming freshmen are from right here in North Carolina. The most popular programs for the class of 2028 are business administration, pre-nursing, criminal justice, psychology, and biology. Classes at NCCU start Monday.
Every child should have the tools they need for a successful school year. And a local community service organization is doing its part to help children in our community. How you can benefit from Operation Big Book Bag this weekend.
And a treat for some sky watchers in the Northeast, where this colorful light show was captured on video.
Well, look at this live view of Wrightsville Beach. Doesn't it make you want to go to the beach right now? Look at that blue water, blue skies, lots of sunshine. But come this weekend, the coast will start to feel indirect impacts from Ernesto. We're tracking that for you. You're watching WRAL News, available on Spectrum and the WRAL app on your TV or streaming device.
Students on traditional school calendars will head back to school in less than 2 weeks. Some families, though, on tight budgets might have a hard time paying for backpacks and school supplies. A local sorority is stepping in to ease that burden. Joining us to talk about the Operation Big Book Bag Backpack Giveaway, the president of the Raleigh Alumni Chapter of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. Thank you so much, Celeste Brown, for joining us here. Appreciate your time here. Tell us a little bit about the background of the program.
Yes, absolutely. So Operation Big Book Bag is one of the 5 essential programs of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. It was established in 1996 and designed to address the needs and issues of school-age children to collect and help them with additional educational materials and supplies.
Such a useful resource. How many people have been able to help through this?
Well, we estimate about 1,000 students, and for Saturday, we expect that post-pandemic, this will be our largest giveaway of over 300 book bags and materials and supplies.
Awesome. So it's Saturday. Where is this going to be held?
It's going to be at Anderson Point Park, Saturday, August 17th. From 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m.
Who can show up and benefit from this?
All students, all ages.
Oh, awesome, awesome. Why was this important for Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated to get involved in something like this?
Yes, so we were founded by 7 school teachers. So to have an impact in the educational system honors their legacy.
Natural tie. Right there. It's
Absolutely.
Perfect. So we understand also you'll be doing some other community service there, like helping folks register to vote.
Yes. We will have on-site voter registration, and we will also have Wake Up and Read.
A live look at Carolina Beach. Look at all those people already out on the sand. A beautiful day, lower humidity. Sunny skies and a great day to head to the beach. As we wrap things up, here's a look at a few of the headlines we're following today.
The search for a felon convicted of murder has entered day 2. The reward has been increased to $35,000 now for information leading to his capture. Ramon Alston escaped yesterday morning while being transported to the UNC Hospital's Hillsborough campus. New this morning, a new tip line has been activated for information. That number is 919-324-1082. Authorities say Alston has friends and family connections in the area. That new tip number again, 919-324-1082. If you can find it, you can go to our website, WRAL.com, for that.
We're following breaking news in Raleigh out of the Hedingham neighborhood where 3 homes were shot at early this morning. Take a look at brand new video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. This is the backside of a home on Shadow Glen Drive. There are dozens of bullet holes in the back of this home. Police say even with this many bullets, no one was hurt.
Former President Donald Trump is set to address supporters today at 4 o'clock. Thousands of people are lined up outside the Harris Cherokee Center in Asheville, waiting to hear former President Trump speak. We're expecting to hear about Trump's plan for the economy. That's a big focus of his supporters there today. Doors open at 1 o'clock in just minutes, and we'll have a crew inside.
A skywatcher captured a rare sight over the skies of New Jersey. The northern lights and the Perseid meteor shower illuminated the sky between 1:30 and 3 Monday morning. The glowing lights are caused by geomagnetic storms triggered by explosions on the sun. The Perseids are the second biggest meteor shower of the year. A 2-for-1 there.
It's going to cut down on that travel to Iceland. Our pet of the day comes to us from Cat Angel's Pet Adoptions. Rusty is a handsome tabby who warms up quickly to new people. He likes to include sunning on a windowsill, but is not a fan of loud noises. Rusty hopes to find a home with his friend Molly, who's a very sweet 5-year-old girl. If you'd like to know more about this wonderful boy, you can see more photos at the Cat Angel's website, and then you can fill out an application.
Such a sweet face. The annual Clear the Shelters initiative is underway. Today, we want to highlight Goat House Refuge. The shelter offers cage-free care to help find loving homes for their feline residents. Goat House Refuge provides a safe haven for cats of all ages and medical conditions until they can be adopted into permanent homes. Visit Goat House Refuge to find your new furry friend and help make a difference. For more information, check out their website or stop by the sanctuary.
Coming up this afternoon on our news at 4, WRAL is your home for the Carolina Panthers. And we check in with the team and their preseason matchup expectations as they get ready to take on the New York Jets this weekend. They have already had a meeting with the New England Patriots. Hopefully they'll get things squared away and fare a little better in their meeting with the Jets.
Yeah, we'll see how this one goes. And earlier we showed you all kinds of views from our live camera network of the beach, all the people out there, our new camera at Lake Gaston. It's just a gorgeous day outside. We hope you make the most of this nice weather.
Do get out there. It is one of the best 2 we'll have this week, certainly. NBC News Daily is up next on WRAL, your next local news update in 30 minutes.
You can get breaking news updates anytime with our WRAL News app. Another live look at Carolina Beach. Have a wonderful day, everyone. We'll see you at 4.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air channel 34 and Spectrum channel 1257.